Hi, and thank you for joining us today for Cassie's Coffee Talk and Meditation. My name is Rhiannon. I'm the director of the Northeast Millerton Library, and we're here again with Kassie Alnwick. Hi, Kassie.
Hi, Rhiannon. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm actually home today, so it's nice. And I've actually got because I am home, I've got my cup of coffee. I thought to myself, the last couple of times we did this, it's coffee talk and meditation, and I'm like, well, where has my coffee been?
Oh, yeah.
So this is a good thing. So I've got my coffee today, and we're good to go. I just want to start off and thank you and thank the library for the opportunity to be able to be of some service for the community in the way that we're doing here. Just talking about little things and incorporating some meditations in there. So my intention, with our program, because again, you and I spoke about this, it seems like we're going to continue. My intention is really just to help anyone that's watching right now, and it doesn't matter because it's on YouTube, it's going to be there forever, whether it's in this particular moment when it first goes up, or even 10 or 20 years from now. My intention is really to give people the opportunity just to pause from everything that they're in at the moment, as well as to be able to, put maybe a new tool in their tool bag, where they can just really promote a sense of well-being for themselves. So again, I just wanted to thank you for giving me the opportunity to do what I love. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, for today's coffee talk, I would be remiss if I did not bring up or have something to talk around what is going on in the world right now. Never in my lifetime did I ever think that I would be watching unfold. And what I'm referring to, I don't even think I have to refer to it, but what I'm referring to is basically, Russia moving in on the Ukraine. And I never thought, Rhiannon, that I ever would see this. Just like my mother in her lifetime never thought she'd ever see the wall between East and West Germany go down, but it did. Never in my lifetime did I ever think I would be watching this type of situation going on. And I have to say, last week when it showed up, you and I had talked that we were going to talk about emotions. Last week when this all opened up, I was listening to the radio, and I had this very low energy. I mean, Rhiannon, I work in the energy world. I work on people doing my Reiki energy balancing. So I'm super sensitive, let's just say, to energy. And I felt like something just punched me right in the chest. Which, by the way, I'm just going to say to everybody, if you hear any noise, that is my dog coming in from a walk. Hello, Max. There he is, my Great Dane. You want to say hi to everybody? There you go. Hi, right when we needed a light moment, right? So there he is. He'll probably come right up behind me. But anyway, last week, come on, you want to sit? Last week, I just felt like I got this punch in my chest, and I all of a sudden felt like my energy just dropped. So I pulled over. I was driving. And I asked myself, what I was feeling, what is this? What is the actual feeling I'm feeling? I knew where I was feeling it, but I wanted to put a sticky note on it. And what I was feeling was helpless.
Yeah.
How about yourself? Did you, have any kind of feelings when you first learned about it, or even you were in a public place? What happens,
so often that because we are at the library, we are a public place, that because we're working at the time, we don't know when these events happen until patrons come in and start talking to us about it. So it's always a little jarring to learn that something traumatic has happened.
Okay, so that was just no, it's okay. I apologize for that. That was just Max knocking my light off. So I think we're good. I don't think I need my
No, you're
light right now,
fine.
but he may keep jumping up on the couch. Anyway, yeah, so getting back to you, again, I apologize. You were saying how people were coming in, so it really was not, you weren't really able to get away from it.
No, no.
And I can only imagine, I mean, you have a lot of people that come through the library during the day, and it's not everybody all at once, but it's
No.
like trickles.
Yes.
It's trickles. So you're hearing the same story
Over and over again.
over and over
Yeah.
and over again. And I guess my question to you is, how did that make you feel? What was coming up for you? And while you're talking, I am going to pick up my light because it's right on my route. So go ahead.
Sure.
I'm sorry,
It's
everybody.
okay. So you kind of just start feeling like this thing in the pit of your stomach all day because you don't know exactly what's going on. You may not have enough time to actually go and look it up, but it's an awful feeling to know that, like, I mean, it's a different layer of helplessness. It's like knowing someone in your family is not well, but not getting away long enough to go see what the issue is or see what the problem is. So it's even like a secondary layer of disconnect or, out of control feeling.
Right. And so and also the other thing too, a few years back, I was actually, and I think no, I met you at the library. I was going to say, I don't think we met at the bank when I was working there, but I had been working at the Salisbury Bank. And I just remember, so not only people coming in, if something was going on, the other piece of it too, is that you're working on a computer. And even for me at the bank, no matter what banking program I had up, as soon as I clicked out of that, I had whatever computer program was up, which is a constant news feed. I'm like, please, and I'm thinking to myself, couldn't it just be a roll of flowers, beautiful pictures or something like that? But there's Max already finally settling down. See, something we don't get when I'm at the library, right? Doing this. So, that's the other element of this that I'm sure you experienced. And even anybody that's watching this right now, they may be at work and they can't get away from it. Even if they're choosing not to turn on the news when they go home or on the TV or even on their phone, they can't turn off their work computer. So, I mean, how has that been?
Yeah. Well, luckily what we're doing, we don't have a lot of time to actually go and investigate too much because people are coming in, the phone is ringing, we have things we have to work on. So you get glimpses of headlines and then you're back in until you either get a break or something like that. So it's usually during the lunch break, you're like, oh, look at all these terrible things happening. And now back downstairs.
Right. And it's, when that happens, we're compartmentalizing because it's, you've got yourself in this position where you're looking. And again, I know prior to this, there were other things going on in the world that, but this just kind of seems so.
It's just in the last week. So it's the most recent.
Right. It's the most recent thing. And there's a piece of me as a mother. I just want to say, can't we all just get along in the sandbox? And, oh, by the way, you need to get hugged and then go have a timeout, something like that, but whatever. But yeah, it's one of these things. And I guess that's really what I wanted to bring to the table today, where we get this. First of all, we have this array of emotions. I want to just talk about emotions here for a minute. We have this beautiful array of emotions, and without labeling any of them anything like good or bad, it's just an array of emotions. And I like to think that we are these beautiful souls that chose to have a human experience. And when we slip on these human suits, as we do to be in this realm, what comes with it are these emotions. And I personally see emotions really as our superpowers. I just see them as our superpowers. If we tune into them, they will let us know what's going on. I mean, and does that resonate with you at all? I mean, does that make sense to you?
They always talk following your instinct.
Absolutely. Oh, wait a minute, you're muted. I was going to say,
I had a mute for just a second because we had someone come up.
And I'm like nodding as if I'm hearing exactly what you're saying, but I heard the first part, so that I definitely was nodding to.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were sharing about instinct.
Sometimes if you're walking down the street by yourself and all of a sudden something doesn't feel right, it's kind of like this sixth sense that tells you, look at your surroundings, be careful, that kind of thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's one of these things that I try to help people tune back in to those, because sometimes, well, first of all, just in general, our genders, no matter what we are saying we are, certain genders are allowed to express certain emotions while others can only express other emotions, which I think is crazy. We're all human beings. We all have this array of emotions. We should all be able to express or feel and acknowledge all these feelings that we're having. It should not matter what gender we are, what we're allowed to express or not express or feel. And then the other piece, when it comes to the emotions, I always think about them. I love superhero movies. I'm a big fan. COVID really bothered me because there were a lot of, I wanted to go see a lot of superhero movies, but anyway, I digress. But with Superman, in that movie years ago, his biggest challenge was kryptonite, that green gem, right? So when I think about emotions, there are superpowers. And then what becomes, as human beings, what becomes our kryptonite is when our emotions absolutely control us.
Yeah.
So, you could have an emotion and it's just, it's just totally overwhelming and just taking over your system, and you're frozen, or you're so angry that, it's just all over the place. And there's a lack of processing, or just, what do I do with this thing? Right. So it's really, I'm allowed to feel them, and I want to feel them. And then I want to release them when they're no longer serving me. Listen, I'm the first one to say, listen, you hold on to your anger or whatever else as long as you want, grief, things like that, whatever, sadness, you hold on to it as long as you want, as long as it's serving you. But the moment you check in with yourself, and I think this is the important piece to this conversation, this little coffee talk here, is we've got to check in with ourselves and go, how am I feeling? Because sometimes, again, that kryptonite is the emotion just keeps running the show. So one of the things that I wanted to do today, there you are, Max. One of the things I wanted to do today is to take everybody through, first of all, a check-in, a little bit of a check-in with your body, check in with how you're feeling, and then be able to process if something is in there that either feels good, doesn't feel good. What do we do with it? What happens if I do find something that I'm not liking right now? What do you do with it? So I'd like to take everybody through that. And then I learned something I was sharing with you just a little bit ago before we started recording. I was on Instagram. I'm guilty. I'm on it. I look at the reels at night because it just makes me smile, dogs singing, stuff like that, whatever. And I found this gal, and she was talking about this technique, and I just loved it. And I'm taking it. I don't remember what her name is, and I should really look it up so I can give her credit. But I think it's a fabulous tool for us to put in our tool bag, because things are going to come our way. And what do you do in the moment when something does hit you emotionally? How do you process, and how do you regain yourself so that you can make some decisions for yourself from a place of calm, instead of making decisions from a place of, these emotions that are out of control. My mother, well, Rian, you've got my book there in the library, Borrow My Tribe. My mother is famous for saying, don't make any decisions when you're too anything.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. Yeah.
So, right. Like if you're too happy, like, what if I met a guy that, oh my God, I'm married and I have kids. So,
We're off to Vegas.
Whatever. But I mean, really, like, you meet somebody, it's like, oh my God, this is amazing. And, you're like, oh yeah, let's get married and go to Vegas. I'm sure there are some marriages that worked out, but, let's have a moment. Let's, take a moment. Anyway, so here's the check-in. The check-in starts with everyone just taking a breath, just taking a breath and notice where that breath goes. Does it stay up in your throat? Does it go down into your into your chest? Does it go all the way down into your belly? When you're breathing, notice how you're breathing. Are you breathing in through your nose? Are you breathing in through your mouth? And then track it. Where is that breath going? And then breathe it out. So just feel your breathing. Just feel it and just tune into it. And then I want you to start with the top of your head. And even if it means, of course, not if you're driving, even if it means putting your hands on the top of your head, just to bring your awareness to the top of your head. I did that years ago when I was a bodybuilder, when I first started lifting, and somebody was showing me how to work out. He said, "Do you feel it there?" And I'm like, "No." And I just said, "Take your fingers and poke the muscles that you're talking about," because I didn't even know what the name of them. Had no idea what he was talking about. So it really, like, if you just need to tune in, just touch the top of your head so you can go there.
I feel like you must have like tons of stories about that too, not to interrupt.
I'm sorry. I just went to New York on everybody. I'm sorry. Like the hand just went out. I do have a ton of stories, and I got to tell you, the lessons, the spiritual lessons, the life lessons I learned because of the goal that I set way back when, and move through it. Yeah, that's going to be a coffee talk, like a box of Joe. We're going to go to Dunkin' Donuts and get a box of Joe for that one. But anyway, so you're at the top of your head, just be there and just move down to your neck. Just, put yourself right there, feel your neck. Even if you put your hands on your throat, feel that, move your hand down to your chest. And again, you're breathing, just bring yourself just down into these parts of your body. You've got your shoulders, you've got your arms, you've got your hands, you've got your fingers. Just allow your body to do what I like to call a body scan. And just scan these parts of your body. Notice if there is any tension in those areas, if there's any other feeling in those areas. And then start to go down into your stomach and into your hips and your glutes, and which is your tush, by the way. And even your thighs. If you're sitting, just kind of put your hands on your thighs, the front of your thighs, the back of your thighs, your knees, your calves, the front of your calves, the back of your calves, that's the lower limbs, and then just scan it all. Just, again, ask yourself the question is, what do all these body parts feel like? Is there anything that feels tight? That would be tension. So if you're does anything feel tight? Are you feeling any kind of like ball or brick somewhere in your body? And then just move on down, move to your feet. And I just, again, take a couple of deep breaths. So again, with the scan, if you do happen to feel anything that feels uncomfortable or tight or just like some part of your body that just doesn't feel quite right, I just want you to take a deep breath. And I want you to imagine yourself underneath a cool waterfall and just let the water flow into your body and just flow down, let it wash over you completely. It's washing over that space where you were feeling some tension. It's so cool and relaxing. And it's just everything that's in there in your body that's no longer serving you. It's all flushing out through the bottom of your feet. You're just letting it all rush out. And that's how you do a body scan. And after you do that, one of the things that I like to do to check in with myself, again, if I'm just trying to, if I felt like something came my way, like the other day, and I'm just trying to do a little self-care, a little self-love after I've scanned myself and I've got my waterfall going on. I like to imagine myself as a tree. Now I am over 6 feet tall, so I have been called a tree. I've played a tree in school plays. I'm not offended anymore, but it's the visualization, again, just visualizing yourself as this beautiful tree with, you know, your legs are these tree, you know, the tree trunks. By doing that, you're going to be able to allow yourself to go down to your feet and feel all these roots coming out of your feet and sinking into the earth. Even if you're wearing shoes, it's okay. And you can just feel these roots just going down into the earth and going so low and just locking you in. And by doing that, it's giving you a sense, it can give you a sense of safety, because you're just in this place, you're one with the earth. And one of the things that I was rereading, I have a beautiful book, and actually, do I have it here? I'm going to show everybody. It's called Wheels of Life. I don't know if you have this, Rhiannon, on your, this is one, I don't know. Okay, there we
We
go.
might have it in the system, but I don't think I have it in the
Okay,
library.
this is a really good book. This is one of my favorite books for looking at the chakras, which again start at the root and then of course work up. And the author is Anodia. So it's, yeah, you've got it in the system. Anodia Judith. Maybe we could put that in the somewhere in the notes if people are interested. I love it because as a Reiki practitioner, I'm working with energy. Well, with energy, we're talking about energy, the energy line, right? So all of those energy centers that are down our body, which this image really has got them, there you go, it's got them right down our spine. And I was reading the other day about the root chakra, which is at our base. I like to reread all the time this, because always something else will come up. And what came up for me when I was looking at it was that the reason why grounding, and that's what we just did, when you imagine yourself as a tree and the roots are going into the ground, when you ground yourself like that, it's just like as a child. I know with my kids, there are so many times I'll lift myself up right there in that spot right there. They've shoved their head and they have just melted away, right? Like the whole world does not exist. I'm right in my mother's armpit and that's it. Well, children do that when they're overwhelmed. They need a bigger being to absorb this overwhelmed energy that they've got going on. Well, you know, as adult human beings, I don't have a huge giant like Jack and the Beanstalk where I can stick my face in his armpit. But what I do have is this beautiful earth. And the earth is so able to absorb our energy that we need to just release. So I want everyone to know that that's another tool for you, just grounding, body scan, and then you ground yourself and you imagine those roots going in the ground and just allow everything that you're feeling that's not serving you, allow it to just go into the earth and do it intentionally. You know, make that statement. When people use intention, it makes it that much more powerful. I can brush my teeth, or I can tell myself I am brushing my teeth because this is creating health and well-being in my body. You know, all of our oral health, right? It starts, you know, it starts there. So, you know, what's going to be more powerful, me just brushing my teeth or me saying I'm co-creating my experience? You know, me saying I'm brushing my teeth because this is the reason why. Well, I'm grounding because I'm allowing everything that's not serving me to leave my body and go into the earth so that I am now in a place of peace, right? Be intentional. So the other tool I wanted to give everybody, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee though. Number one, by the way, I'm digging my mug. I found this the other day. I'm doing a new little thing on Instagram with a friend of mine, and we're calling it Tea Time with the Moon. So I have coffee time with you and I have tea time with Valerie.
That's so cute.
And I found this mug, so I was super pumped. Okay, my voice was going there for a minute. All right. So then the last tool I want to share with everybody today is this, again, this neat tool. And it's really cute and it's really fast. And if you're really stressed, you could de-stress yourself. I'm not kidding, in 30 seconds. Okay, so we're going to do it. So I would like you to now think about, and even if you have to take your hand and pat yourself on the back of the head, I want you just to feel and put your mind in the back of your head. Not on the top, but right on the back, like somebody came by and whapped you right in the back of the head. There it is. All right, so put your mind there. And again, you're breathing. And then I want you to bring your mind down to the back of your neck. And then I want you to put your mind to the back of your shoulders. And now go lower with your mind right between your shoulder blades, as if you were to squeeze back. You could squeeze a pencil right there. I want you to focus on the middle between the shoulder blades. And then we're going to go down a little bit more. Again, remember, you're taking in your breaths, breathing in and breathing out. You're going to go down to your lower back. And then take another breath in, and you're going to go all the way down to your tush. And then you're going to go all the way down to the back of your thighs. Those are called your hamstrings. And then you're going to go behind your knees. And then your calves, the back of your calves. And then you're going to bring your mind to your heels. And then to the bottom of your feet. You're going to take a deep breath in. And just push everything out from the bottom of your feet. And relax. And then look up and see how you feel. Did your shoulders drop a little bit? You know, did you have a moment to go, ah? So I love that, because by focusing, I'm sure you could focus on the front of your face and go all the way down the front. But what I love about this is that the reminder that you have when you're in this mode of, oh my goodness, like an oh my goodness moment. I could use a sentence enhancer, but I won't, because you know those moments that, you know, it's an oh bleep moment, right? When that happens and you feel it here, you know, you catch yourself, you get to remember that you always have your back. You always have your back. That's what I want you to remember.
That's
you
great.
always have your back. And as soon as you just take a deep breath and you start from the back of your head and you go all the way down your back, by the time you get to the bottom of your feet, you'll be feeling better.
Mm.
What do you think about that?
I think that's great. I love it.
Well, again, I just want everybody to just remember that, you know, to really, you know, in these times when again, it's yet another thing. It's not the only thing that's happened. It's just the next thing that is pulling our energy in a way. We have to, we don't have to do anything. That's another conversation right there. I think we'll do that next time. Have to and get to. But what we get to remember is that we get to protect our sense of well-being, and we get to turn off the TV, or if you're in a house that, you know, someone's watching the news all the time, you don't have to stay in that room. You know, you get to remember that your self-care is super important. And this might be a time where we get to do that. And I know for myself the other day when I was feeling helpless, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go across the world and do anything. But what I could do is, if that feeling was showing up for me, I could look at my own personal life, as big as my backyard, right? Like I'm only going as global as my backyard. I could look at my own life and say, where in my own life am I feeling helpless? And then look at it again from maybe a different vantage point to see how I could feel empowered. What could I do to feel empowered about this issue in my life? And I actually did that and found that I was able to make a decision about that, which then of course made me feel better. And again, any help that you want to do. Oh, you know, those goats, before we go, I know we're checking our time, you know, right around in town, because we live in the same area. Oh my goodness.
Goats?
You get to feed the goat. Okay, listen, you need to come around without sharing where we live. You have to come around by my house and then go down all the way down the end.
Okay.
There's a goat fence reconstruction project going on, and they use goats.
Oh, yep.
Yes.
Okay.
So we can feed them.
Oh.
We can feed them, but what was coming out was, you know, can you help us? Because people that, you know, own the farm and everything, they can't be there all the time. And with the cold weather, their water freezes.
Oh.
So I've been bringing, you know, gallons of water, hot water to, you know, give them so it won't freeze fast. So, you know, we get to also think that, like, if we can't, you know, be helpful somewhere else, where could we be helpful? Who could we, you know, in our backyard or in our community or, you know, neighborhood and things like that. Because that one little thing that we do, it ripples
Yeah.
And that energy goes all around the world. So.
Well, thank you. This
Well,
I mean, made me feel better. I was saying just what I did, at lunch, looked at the news, and
good.
this helped.
Good. I'm so happy. And
Yeah.
again, if anybody can just share this or share the video, if you know of anybody, when you're seeing it on YouTube, just share it with people, and hopefully we can all just, just check in with our emotions and do what we can for ourselves, which when you take care of yourself, you're then able to take care of others. So.
Thank you for joining us today. And of course, as always, if you have any suggestions or any topics you'd like Kassie to cover, please let us know. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.